Okay, hi guys, how are you? So this is my reader's notebook. Actually, it says writer's notebook because as you can tell, the first half of this I am using for the narrative unit. But this second half is what I'm talking about when I talk about jots, okay? So I read The Lightning Thief last year. And this is a good example because you can definitely read the Lightning Thief Theory series if you want. And so these are some examples where I took quotations from the book and I found these quotations to be insightful. I was interested. These are sort of character analysis type of quotations. Mr. Brunner is a character. This is about Mrs. Dodds back here. And there were actions. And then I took the time to explain what I thought the motivations of the characters were. And then sometimes there are connections between the characterization of the narrator and something in your own life, right? And so I know my handwriting is a little bit weird. Sometimes I get bored and I decide that I'm going to draw things, as I said. She did have a rebellious streak like me. We all know somebody who's rebellious. And I talked a little bit about Percy here, but I also talked about his relationship with his mother. Here we talked about the Olympic gods and goddesses, and so was just an illustration. You can definitely put other illustrations in here that you find interesting. I like to color a lot. These were several pages where we did analysis of this really elevated concept of Western civilization right here, and what that meant to the book. It was a pretty abstract idea, and it was related to theme. And then this was also an extension of that, and we kind of built a bit of a diagram around the connection between ancient Greece and the foundations of that, and Rome and the United States today. I mention all this because I think you're struggling a little bit, perhaps, what is a jot going to look like? This is a book called Rules from Cynthia Lord. I read that this summer. So now you see that my jots look a little bit different. I found these quotations about the characters to be very interesting. Sometimes they were quotations, sometimes they were my thoughts about those quotations. And so then I took the time. So what I did was I would read something, I would put the post-it, I would either write it down then from the page, or I would just put the post-it in the book and know I was going to write the quotation down later. And then I did some extending thoughts. These extending thoughts right here are not your jots. The way I see these is the writing you're going to do in class the next day once you come in. But I just wanted to go through and just show you what I felt like was maybe a good student example of what your jots might look like, and then how to extend, which are usually like my jumping off point here is many of my jots are insightful sentences or quotations from the book, and not a lot more than that. And then my extending comments are related to what I think about that. So this actually looks to me more like what we call a reader response notebook. And I'm quoting Shakespeare like a typical nerdy English teacher there. And then this is from another book, Fish in a Tree. You notice that I made these little markers. So each time I start a new novel, I make a little marker, and then you're eventually going to have a separation between your readers and writers notebook, which we'll do sometime next week. Okay. So I just wanted to give you a little tour. I like to doodle a little bit, but again, I'm not super artistic, but to me, some of these things just like kind of break up our thoughts a little bit. This page was really interesting too, and sometimes I think we put things in our notebook. Don't worry if this doesn't make sense; it shouldn't actually, and that's part. The character is dyslexic, and so the teacher is doing this exercise in like having the kids kind of decode this. And I was thinking, oh, should I have this happen for my students? So many times in your notebook, it is something that you haven't quite resolved, actually. It's a question that you have, and you may find one of the exercises we're probably going to do this year is returning to some of those thoughts and being like, oh, should I do something with this? And this page really isn't about the connection between me and the character, but some of the characters and what they bring forward as topics. Okay? So I hope that helps a little bit in terms of what a jot is. And we will continue to explore this. And I look forward to doing that and learning more. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.